Okay, so I made a claim earlier. I'm losing my voice. I made a claim earlier that I could use water to think the unthinkable and to say the unsayable. Right? And so I guess a good test for this is to talk about like the truth, like the Tao, like the thing that you can speak about is not what is, right? There's this like philosophical impossibility, and everyone goes like, oh, if you've conceptualized it, it's not actually it. And which would be true unless you could somehow conceptualize conceptualization. And at that point, like, I don't know, can I do it while I'm driving? Can I do it while I'm thinking? Like, what a tremendous balance, right? Could I say what is while being what is with what I'm saying, right? So I would have to start approaching something like poetry, right? But poetry on the level of like science, you know, molecular bonding orbitals and phospholipid biolayers. You know, you would have to put all of that together in eternal, timeless poetry. Which is somewhat hard to avoid anyway, especially if you take your time. Like, what do you do as a scientist when you notice that everything comes from there? And there's an elephant in the room that is obviously there. And people are so conditioned to a character that they ask you to prove that it's there before they will act as if it's there. The nature of water and its the nature of consciousness and its relationship with water is so foundational to the scientific enterprise that the only reason that science is not a poem is because of this like oversight as to what water is, and having that not being written into the script of the NPC, right? The simp, the unawake person who pretends as if it's not there. Right? So imagine these people pretending it's not there. They're asking these questions of like, what is God, or where did the universe come from? And they genuinely act as if they can't see it. And this is a big question. You know, you have what, you have people like John Vervaeke. There's a couple of people that are like even suggesting that it might be important to understand the nature of consciousness, but even they themselves are unwilling to look at the reality of the matter. And because they're unwilling to look at the reality of the matter, like what would be happening are these struggle sessions where, you know, people come up. I guess it would be called, a satsang is a struggle session, right? Where people come and like one person is like, God, it's there, and they've somehow managed to prove to everybody that it's there. And so people are like, it's there, but I can't see it. And some people are like, I don't see it, and so I don't think it's there. And then everyone else is like, but what that guy is saying makes sense. And then they go, but where is it? I don't see it. Do you see it? And you go, I guess not. And so this is all very subjective until you really look at the relationship that water has with what you can best figure out to be your life, your aliveness, your subjective I, the whatever, right? Is it your brain activity? Okay, cool, maybe. Well, what is your brain activity? It's something to do with respiration, oxygen, air, energy. This energy has to flow. And then it does all this crap in my head. It goes through the cells and does all this stuff. And you go, oh, that's what it is to be alive. And when we interrupt that in somebody else, they're not there anymore. And so we go, where is that, right? That's what I am. I'm that breath thing. Where is it? Where is it? And we look and but lo and behold, it's in the water. It's in the water of the body. Right? It's in the water of the body. The breath is in the water of the body. What's the breath? It's this sort of thingness, is this perception thing that I'm here. I'm like perceiving, my nerves are firing in my eye. I see stuff with my eye. And the nerves are there, right? Where is that? It's coming. You know, I'm breathing. And that breath is going into water. This stuff is inside of the water. And this stuff is inside of awareness. And so a lot of different things can happen on the surface of awareness, right? Like if you had one molecule in the water, or one rock, let's start with a rock. Let's say that you had a rock in the water, and then you had a dog in the water, right? The surface of the water would conform to the shape of the rock, and it would conform to the shape of the dog. And so you could say that the surface of the water there is very, very, very different. It's very, very, very different what the surface is doing when it's surrounding the dog versus what it's surrounding the rock. And you can even break this down even more and go that it's the surface, it's not even an object, right? It's just a speaker playing an A note over here on the water, and it causes a vibration. And then that's different than the water over here where you play like a C note, and the C note causes a vibration on the surface. There's not even two different objects, but the vibe in the area is different, so the surface there is different. But the water underneath the surface is not any different whatsoever. Except in these interesting diffuse ways where like molecules are kind of dissolved in it. There's a whole world inside of water that's optically invisible. Right? Like if you put the sugar into the water, where does it go? Where does it go? When you dissolve something into the water, where does it go? Optically, it's gone. It's gone, but it's in there. You can detect it. You can even find concentration gradients, but can you find it right? No, it's not. So you can actually go into water and you don't have a body, but you are a body. You're not like you're like you'd be a cube of sugar on one side of water, but if you go into the water, where did it go? Optically, like you can't see it anymore. And so yeah, you can use like what water is. What is it? It's a field. It's that oxygen and hydrogen, and that interacts in such a way where the electron, the electromagnetic field, is a body of fluid. That's a continuous field. All the oxygen and the hydrogen is sharing their electrical density in such a way that it can create a globule or a bathtub or an ocean of water, and it's a single contiguous field capable of breaking itself off into bubbles, into sphericals that have their own separate independent surface. And you can have different shit going on in one area of the other, and it's all the same field. And through the principle of resonance, since it's all the same field, it's all technically like one field, even when it's separate, because it's attuned to the exact same frequency, right? So you have this thing, water, that's capable of breaking off so if it's wrapping around DNA, that's a crazy pattern on its surface. And then not only that, but the DNA is like spitting things into the water that are dissolving, like nucleotides and RNA. Then again, they're in the water, it's dissolved. This shit's invisible. And so the water's around the surface of that, all the DNA, and then it's around and touching the cell membranes. And so you get different patterns in the water at all these different surfaces. If you treat the DNA as a surface, or the cell membranes as a surface, or an organ thing as a surface, and then that's creating a pattern on the surface of the water. What's that pattern? Well, it's kind of going, back and forth at whatever the heart, zoom in even more to the cell membrane, right? And it's all different things on the surface of consciousness. And since you are awareness, right? What is consciousness other than your eyeball? Right? When everyone goes, what's my awareness? What they're talking about is like, well, what am I looking at shit with? So a dumb person can at very least trace that back to their body. What am I looking at everything with? And they go, I'm I, so I'm in a thing in the head, right? But then some people notice they're looking with other stuff, like, I'm looking at my body sensation. Looking, right? I'm awaring is maybe a better word. I'm awaring my body sensation. I'm awaring my vision. Has nobody made that word up before? Awaring? Maybe that's why everyone's so stupid. It's awaring, everyone. When we're talking about the subjective I, it's not awareness, it's awaring. And so I'm awaring my I. And I look out there, but I also notice that I see thoughts. I'm awaring thoughts. I don't see thoughts because I see with my eye. Right? I hear sounds. I'm awaring sounds. Maybe I hear my vision. I don't know, right? I hear my body. There's an eye in there that's able to look at the different sense organs. Well, where is the eye? Nobody knows. I'm a teacher of non-doing. Where's the I? Who's the looker looking? Oh, there's no better hints than that. Who am I? Who am I, Adyashanti? Who am I, Eckhart Tolle? Who am I, Buddha? Oh, you are the looker looking. Paradox, non-speakable. It is impossible to speak of the awareness. Well, what? With water, anything is possible. Because it's water. When you're like, what am I? You're saying, where am I looking from and what will happen to it? Where am I looking from and what's going to fucking happen to it? That's the question. Everyone goes, I don't know, just look at it. It's obvious the water. Like, that's where, I mean, in terms of you having a body that you're concerned about, like when you're like, where am I? What is this place? Obviously, that's going to be from the standpoint of a body. Because if you're asking questions about something with no body, like, that's absurd. So where is my body? Where am I awareing from that's a body, that's some body? And if you're looking from the water, you're surrounding and enveloping everything. That's why when you dissolve different chemicals in it, you get high, because you can see the water. And this holds up. This doesn't answer every mystery, but it is like that when you use water to think, it's the same as like, oh, well, I can't do a backflip unless I'm in water. I can't fly unless I'm in water, right? So you can't comprehend certain things, but just be in water. Do it in water and you can comprehend it. Which means, like, you can talk about it without going insane. That's the problem with spirituality stuff, is that if you talk about concepts and you don't understand where and what it is that you're talking about, that'll slowly drive you insane. If you constantly talk and think about anything that you have no idea where or what it is and your language is divorced from, you'll go insane. And so people don't know that. They go, I'm working on my consciousness, I'm working on my awareness, I'm working on my soul, my spirit, my body, myself. And there's like fucking no discussion of water. Of course everyone's going insane in the new age. You're trying to comprehend theology without water? That's like trying to sail a boat without water. Everyone goes, the church is a ship, and everyone's just trying to sail away without water. Like, oh, I'm going to have a materialistic, scientific understanding of something, and I have not fucking figured out what water is yet. So it's like water has an electromagnetic field around it. So does iron and carbon. Oh my God, look at this. If we realize it's the same thing, all of a sudden chemistry can make sense. Oh, if you look, like if you're seeing anything correctly, it's fractal. Everything will make sense to you. So if you're like running around, stumbling around, be like, I don't know what's happening. I'm on a search. What is truth? Oh my God. Then just look, figure it out with water. It's obvious, it's flexible, you can see it, you can use it, you can figure it out, and everything's fractal. And like, oh my God, you know everything. Like, enough with the podcasts. You know, the demystify and conscious awareness and symbolism. Enough with you just figure it out once and you've got it. And if you haven't, if what people are giving you isn't causing you to figure out everything all at once, then they're not giving you anything. Some people are, but I mean, like, if you're a fucking normie, that believes the TV show is real, like, you're basing your personality off of shit coming out of the screen and your thoughts with stuff coming out of the screen, like, oh, I'm a red person and my identity is coming from the screen and what it tells me. Oh, I'm a blue person and my identity is coming from the screen and what it tells me. We are opposite things. We're not the exact same thing being manipulated by a cosmic intelligence that's using language like a fucking bird call or a duck. It's a duck. The shit coming out of the internet is like a duck call of like, oh, I don't know, whatever your buzzword is, whatever your ideology is, whatever your Buddha is. It's just doing a duck call. It's science. Oh, there we go. You're the same person, little computer Borgs. Like, if you're not getting your identity from the surrounding environment, like sucking in the energy, you're having your energy sucked out of you. Right? It's literally a giant thing from outer space, like sucking everybody's souls out of their body, but we're like, hey, this is funny. This is funny and interesting, and I don't have anything better to do, I guess. I tried homesteading, but it's just so much easier to go to the grocery store, and now what? What does it take to make $1 million? What does it take to make some money? Oh, what does it take to make $1 million? Like, share, and subscribe if you think my content is interesting. If you think I'm worthy of attention, you should force other people to pay attention to me. Like, if you know somebody that's delusional, you could be like, hey, do you want to learn about water? And they might be like, oh, that's innocent, that's harmless, I'll just learn about water. And then they might go, oh my God, I can't unsee that. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. It's crazy, like, how unstable human psychology is, right? The whole thing is based off of cognitive dissonance, where people are conditioned from youth to ignore the obvious and to believe lies. Like, literally, just as part of like sort of an MK Ultra Project Mockingbird, controlling the situation, controlling a narrative. If you've controlled a narrative, everyone who believes in or is influenced by that control is like conditioned to need lies. And if they see the truth, it shakes the entire worldview. To the degree that you've ingested lies is the degree that you cannot approach truth without having a psychological breakdown. So if anybody ever breaks containment, like really breaks containment, if anybody is ever like, boom, and is able to show or demonstrate the truth aggressively, like the truth, and I think you would stay out of trouble if you just stuck to the truth. Right? If we're like, hey, what's going on here? And it's like, my friends and I are conceptualization, sir. Like, that's all. And our thought processes are taking place inside of water. Like, go, okay, carry on. That seems harmless. Seems harmless. Carry on. But the instant, it's like water. It's like water in a salt mine. It floods in, it erodes the support columns because the water dissolves the salt. It's crazy how many car people there are. I was a car person for a while after my divorce. More, I was a truck person with a camper canopy. But I eventually finagled my way back into a home. What was I talking about? Yeah, to the degree to which you believe bullshit, right? And this is true for people that are like in particular religions, right? Like if you're a religious or a spiritual person and you believe any of these psyops, any of them, any of this nonsense shit, if you can't see through it entirely all the time, like if it works on you, then you haven't seen it anywhere. If you see falsehood anywhere, like if you see falsely, if you're unable to discern something anywhere, I would say you've never seen truth. At least not the truth that you're looking through. Because, well, like, what if you're like, I found truth here, but not here, right? If like the bullshit test for everybody is, do they believe any bullshit? Like, test them, like, just to see which bullshit it is. And then the crazy thing is if you're wrong about the bullshit, if you believe bullshit and you test somebody with your bullshit detector and their truth, you'll think that they're bullshit. Dangerous, huh? That's why I agree with pretty much anybody I'm around. I mean, even if we get into a fight, I'm fighting to agree with them. Because if they don't agree with me, there's a chance that maybe they have truth and I'm bullshit. You can usually look at them. Like if they're a fat slob, they probably don't know truth. Like the body is true. And there's obviously age and disease things, but like, and I don't even think beauty has anything to do with the body, but if somebody has found truth, they will appear beautiful, even if they're haggard. So if somebody isn't beautiful, if they're like disgusting, if their voice sounds like this, if it sounds all the time like, you know, they got AIDS from eating ass, that these are telltale signs that their whole thing is bullshit. And people overlook this stuff because the simps are in character, and so they just imagine that these people that they see parading around with these like behaviors and these signs and stuff are just like totally just like be normal, and like, oh, it's all just, they just imagine them to be the average person just imagines these people to be normal, and It's very fractal. Like, the world's very effed up. There's very few real niggas out there. And that's all I'm talking about is a real nigga, right? A Buddha. Like, the real people. And a lot of the people that, like, wear the label aren't it, but they're out there. There are real people out there. And the idea of real niggas being out there is enticing to people. They call it the hero's journey. Salvation. Right? What is salvation other than being a real nigga? Nigger. A real Negro. Using the colloquial phrase. Right? The most inspiring thing possible, to become an avatar of the divine Godhead. To be an expression of fate itself in that moment. The realest of real niggers. With a hard R. And so everything in the person's perception is the same level of truth. And when people level up or down in these ways, that's why it seems like an awakening. And then what does that do? The whole media industrial apparatus is there to prevent that. Because you don't know how it would behave. You're certainly not going to walk away intact from like a blossoming of consciousness.